Cancer, welcome to your monthly horoscope for October 2023. In this video, I will be going over all of the major energies you will be moving through for the month of October. So coming into the month, we are officially in eclipse season. We have the North Node in Aries here in your 10th house of career and public reputation, and the South Node here in your 4th house of home and family. So there's definitely going to be a lot of changes in this area, in these areas of life, which we will be getting into. And we will also have our final lunar eclipse October 28th here in Taurus in your 11th house. Now, coming into the month, we have the sun here in your 4th house of home and family in Libra. So there can be a lot of focus with home and family, maybe a lot going on within home and family, those themes and topics there, especially too with Mars. There can be a lot of energies that you're moving through. October 4th, we have Mercury entering Libra. So bringing a lot of energy to the 4th house. Home and family is going to be quite prominent this month for you. Once we get to October 8th, we have Venus entering Virgo here in your 3rd house of community, neighbors, neighborhood, vehicles, also communication. So once Venus enters Virgo, there becomes this mutual reception between Venus and Mercury, because Mercury is in a Venus ruled sign, Venus is in a Mercury ruled sign. So there is something around these 3rd and 4th house topics that you are integrating, maybe getting more involved with the neighbors, possibly, integrating community neighbors. I mean, the 3rd house can also represent siblings and cousins. So maybe you have a sibling coming to stay with you for a little while. I mean, it really can show up in many ways. Also, too, because there's so much energy in Libra this month, Venus is a key player throughout the month. And Venus is at her fall in Virgo. She doesn't do the greatest in Virgo. So this can be a difficult placement, especially too for you, because it's in your 3rd house. And this is where you really want to be careful of your communication, reading, speaking, writing, all of those 3rd house themes and topics with that Venus energy, Venus being in Virgo. Once we get to October 10th, we have Pluto stationing direct here in your 7th house of relationships. Now, when Pluto stations, there's going to be this square between Mars and Pluto. This can feel quite intense. Remember that Pluto is all about transformation. Pluto can really bring what is beneath the surface to light to be transmute, for you to transmute and transform. Now, Mars ruling your 10th house of career, this can have to do with your career. This can be something showing up when it has to do with your career, public reputation, being brought to your attention that you are having to work through, possibly maybe to even something that you're having to release and let go of, because we do have the South Node here in Libra. Now, once we get to October 14th, we have that solar eclipse in Libra at 21 degrees. So see how there is a lot of energy in that 4th house of home and family. Now, this is part of this journey you are on when it has to do with your career, public reputation, and your home and family. The North Node being in Aries, meaning there's something new. There's a new beginning showing up for you when it has to do with your career, between July of 2023 and January 2025, because that is the time period we are going to have the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra. And so during that time period, this is where we have the eclipses, bringing in significant changes. And also remember, the nodes are very faded, very karmic energy. And so with the South Node being in Libra in your 4th house, this can show up as a move, possibly moving during this time period. And so this eclipse that you are having in the 4th house can bring energy in for that, or can bring new energies in for change when it has to do with your home and family, and when it has to do with this nodal journey that you're on. And then October 19th, 20th, and 21st, we have the Mercury Cazimi here again in your 4th house. So this is where there can be some type of information showing up for you. There can be insight, there can be clarity. This is an energy of epiphany, having these aha moments. Mercury ruling your 12th house and also your 3rd house. This can be, something showing up for you within your community, neighbors, siblings, cousins, information, because that's that third house energy. And then the 12th house, which is spirituality, self-undoing, self-sabotaging behaviors. However, I don't feel this is really going to, I mean, I'm sure it could, but intuitively, I feel like this is just more. I feel like there's information coming in for you, whether it has to do with a move or whether it has to do with something around home and family that you're working through. This is where there's clarity and there's an understanding of which direction to move into. And like I said, it's this aha moment, whether even to maybe you're having a conversation with a family member and something clicks, it can definitely show up in that way. And then on October 22nd, we have Mercury entering Scorpio, and October 23rd, we have the Sun entering Scorpio. So we go from having all of this energy here in Libra in your fourth house, shifting it into your fifth house in Scorpio. So now there can be a lot of focus on children or creativity, hobbies, what you do for fun. There's a lot, this energy, your fifth house becomes a lot more prominent as we get to the end of the month. And then October 28th, we have our final lunar eclipse in Taurus at 5 degrees here in your 11th house. And so if you think back to the changes that have taken place since February 2022, this is where there's a final closing out of that energy. Now, the 11th house has to do with friends and friendships, social media, online connections, humanitarian pursuits. This is where, whatever changes in this 11th house, and also the south node is moving through your fifth house of children, creativity, hobbies, interests. So these areas of life are going through a lot of changes since February 2022, and this lunar eclipse in Taurus is closing that energy out, bringing a final understanding, a final knowing on the direction that you want to move in. All of these changes that have really come in for you, now it's time to implement it. It's time to move forward. And so that is what this lunar eclipse is really going to bring in for you. Cancer, thank you so much for joining me. I hope this helps you move through the energy for October. If you align with my energy and enjoy my content, don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and I will connect with you in the next one.